1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. I believe we are running live now. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. We are running live. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 16 and under Baseball Canada Girls Invitational Championships. Michael Petter here with you here on Petter Picto Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the game we're going to have here is a Pool C matchup between Newfoundland Labrador and Nova Scotia Team 2. Newfoundland Labrador are the visiting team for this afternoon's game. Nova Scotia 2 are the home team, as well as helping to host. Of course, they are the home team for this game. Big thank you to everybody who is tuning in to join us for this game. And don't forget, if you want to make a comment throughout the course of the broadcast, there is the little spot for you to do that, and we'll be able to... sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that this is all set up as it should be, and so far so good. And just making sure that all of anybody who wants to make a comment throughout the course of the broadcast, you can do so there in the comment area over to the side of the video or underneath, depending on however you have your particular machine set up. And let's run you through the starting lineups, of course, for the team that will be visiting team in this game. That is Newfoundland Labrador. Leading off will be their center fielder, number 9, Brianna Saunders. Batting second, the left fielder, Megan Bennett. Batting third, the shortstop, Brooklyn Childs. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 33, Andrea Turner. Batting in the 5 spot, playing out in right field, Chantal Patey-Callahan. Batting in the 6th spot, playing third base, Maddie Healy, number 16. Batting 7th, the extra hitter, Mackenzie Byrne. Batting 8th, Hannah Legge, the second baseman. Batting 9th and pitching, Bethany Brophy. And batting 10th and catching, Haley Companion. For the host team, Nova Scotia Team 2. Leading off will be the center fielder, Shauna Galloway. Batting second, the shortstop, Leah Copeland. Batting third, the first baseman, Haley Strong. Batting in the cleanup spot and catching, Riley Johnston. Batting in the 5 spot, Fenway Ryder. Ryder will be playing second base. Batting 6th, left fielder, Victoria Gates. Batting 7th, the starting pitcher in this game, Avery Smith. Batting 8th, the third baseman, Lanessa Sillaboy. And batting 9th, playing right field, Vanessa Dort. And Nova Scotia not employing the extra hitter in this game, so just 9 players in their batting order, 10 in the batting order for the Newfoundland Labrador team. This is the second game of the day in Pool C. Earlier today in Pool C, we had a final in the game between New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. New Brunswick winning that game by a score of 8-1. So right now, New Brunswick leads the pool with a 1-0 record, PEI with an 0-1 record, and of course these two teams about to play their first game. A couple of other finals from earlier today as well. We had on this field a great game between Quebec and Ontario. That was Quebec Team 1 and Ontario in Pool A, and that was won by a score of 5-1 by Quebec. Then in Pool A action over at Weirfield, a game that Alberta was dominating, 22-3 the final scoreline in that one. So pretty dominating performance for Alberta, and based on the run differential, Alberta somewhat in first place. Alberta and Quebec won, tied for first, really, both with 1-0 records, and while Ontario and Manitoba both are 0-1 in their first games. So big thank you to everybody who is tuned in here. We really appreciate having you along for the ride. One other team to talk about, that is the team of guys in black. Your umpires for this game behind the plate, it will be Alex Marriott And then on the base paths, Mackenzie Maloney and Chris Roberts. And as they are making their way out
coaches
onto
to
the field,
please.
We're just about ready to get this game going. And with the nature of Mother Nature, we have had a few changes to the start time for this game. Yesterday, this game was scheduled as a 12:30 start. This morning, it was, or late last night, it was pushed back to a 1:30 start to give the grounds crew time to get the first game going. It was pushed back from 9:30 to 10:30. Then after the first games of the day wrapped up,
base, please.
we had another pushback from 1:30 to a close to 2 o'clock start, and it looks like we're going to get going just a little bit ahead of 2 o'clock here, as it is 1:41 this afternoon. We're going to get around probably, I'm guessing, a 1:45 first pitch, as we still have to go through the exchanges of the lineups and whatnot. Other games that are in progress right now, if I can get my machine to do what it's supposed to do. Let's see if it'll actually cooperate with me. Fingers crossed. Here we go. British Columbia leads Nova Scotia Team 1. That's in the B pool. BC leading that one 3-0 in the bottom of the first inning there. And elsewhere, we have one other game that will be getting going momentarily over at the Weir Field, and that is Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan, the other Pool B first game. So both Pool B first games and a Pool C opening game is what we've got going on right now. Later on today, it'll be Pool A, Manitoba against Quebec, second game for both of those teams. That one will be over on the Robert Lenihan Field. Here at the Joan Lenihan Field, we'll have Alberta and Ontario in Pool B or Pool A action, the two teams that are both 0-1. And then the last games of the day on each of these fields will be at around 7 o'clock tonight. Saskatchewan against Nova Scotia 1 in Pool B action on Robert Lenihan, while here on Joan Lenihan, it'll be Quebec 2 against BC in Pool B action there. So a busy day, first of 4 days for the 16 and under Girls Invitational Baseball Championships, and we're about ready to get things started here. All of the pregame festivities are pretty much wrapped up.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's play ball.
And here we go into the top of the first inning, and we'll set the defense for Nova Scotia. First off, around the outfield from left to right, it will be Megan Bennett in left, Brianna Saunders in center, and that's the Newfoundland defensive alignment. The Nova Scotia defensive alignment, Victoria Gates in left, Shauna Galloway in center, Vanessa Dort in right. Playing around the infield from third to first, Lanissa Sillaboy, Leah Copeland, Fenway Ryder, and Haley Strong. And behind the plate, asking for the pitches, is Riley Johnston, and delivering the pitches will be Avery Smith. And Avery Smith, just to give you a little bit of a background on her, she's from Spring Hill in beautiful Colchester County, rather. No, Cumberland County. I had it right the first time. Beautiful Cumberland County, Spring Hill, and too much wind. Avery is 13 years old, so another one of these young players at this 16 and under tournament. We've got one player as young as 10 playing in this tournament, and so that is the defense that we're going to see for Nova Scotia. Batting in the top of the first, as mentioned, leading off, it will be Brianna Saunders, the center fielder for Newfoundland Labrador. Saunders from Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland. And Saunders, one of the 15-year-olds for that team. Then she'll be followed by Megan Bennett and Brooklyn Childs. And if anybody gets on, then it'll be Andrea Turner to continue the top of the first inning. So we're pretty much ready to get things rolling. First pitch of the game will be approximately 1:46 if you care about such things. Of course, okay. That was Okay, that was that one. So I gotta go back to this one. Sorry, folks, I'm just...
Leading off the top of the very first inning for Newfoundland and Labrador, number 9, Brianna Saunders.
So Saunders coming up to the plate. Brianna Saunders, 15 years old, from Grand Falls, Windsor. The right-handed batter will be playing center field in this game when she goes out defensively. And she takes the first pitch of the ball game for a ball. And again, that came in at 1:46 p.m. for those of you who care about such things. And if you're a little bit OCD like I am, you kind of do care. There's the 1-0 pitch. That comes in high. Ball 2. 2-0 the count here on Saunders. Avery Smith looks in and delivers. That one comes in inside. And the count goes to 3-0 on Saunders here. This is referred to as Nova Scotia Team Blue or Nova Scotia Team 2. Both names have been used in reference to this team. Walking is Saunders to get the game going, and that'll bring up Megan
15,
Bennett.
Megan Bennett.
Bennett, a 16-year-old catcher. She's playing left field in this game. She also plays catcher. She's from St. John's. Another right-handed hitter for Newfoundland Labrador. And the first pitch gets away from the Nova Scotia catcher Johnston, and able to get down to second base is Saunders. Now, if you're just joining this tournament and wondering how the format works, the winner of Pool C will advance to the quarterfinals. The top 2 teams from Pool B and the top 3 teams from Pool A will also advance into the quarters. The top 2 teams from Pool A go directly to the semis. Then the other 6 teams, so the bottom team from Pool A, the bottom 2 teams from Pool B, and the bottom 3 teams from Pool C will go into placement games to determine where they will finish between 7th and 12th. And so to win, or to have a chance to win the tournament, these teams will have to win their pool to get into that quarterfinal action. There's a strike as Smith finds the strike zone. The count now 2-1. 2-1 the count here on Smith as we bring you this action from Joan Lenahan Stadium. There's a foul tip, and the count goes 2-2. And as mentioned, this is Joan Lenahan Field, part of the complex here in Bedford, Nova Scotia. And if you're not familiar, Bedford, basically a bedroom community of Halifax, for lack of a better word. And sorry folks, just had to change my glasses, didn't mean to hit my microphone. Full count, and that one's fouled back into the parking lot area, and the count will stay 3-2. Bedford is part of the Halifax Regional Municipality when it comes to municipal government, but is very much considered its own community when it comes to community sense. Another walk there as Bennett will take first base.
Number 10, Brooklyn Childs.
That'll bring up Brooklyn Childs. Childs, a 16-year-old from Corner Brook, pitches and plays the infield. Today she's going to be shortstop, at least to start things off. Childs, the first left-handed batter that we're going to see facing Smith, but we've got a meeting out there on the mound as the coaches for Nova Scotia Team Blue wanting to talk things over as Smith's having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone early. Of course, the coaching staff for Nova Scotia 2 includes Jenna Jackson, Carly Jackson, and Jill Stymist. And Carly Jackson, a name if you're a hockey fan in this community, you may be familiar with, as there's another ball from Smith. Carly Jackson playing playing Division I NCAA hockey at the University of Maine, as there's a strike and the count goes to 1-1. Carly Jackson also a strong hockey player and baseball player in her own right. And swing and a miss, strike two. Count goes 1-2 now on Childs, the left-handed hitting shortstop. And it looks like I've got some fans of both teams joining us for this broadcast. That's always good to see. Takes that one outside and high. 2-2 now the count. 2 on, nobody out here. Top of the first inning. If you're just joining us, we are just getting underway in this game. A little bit of a delayed start as we had some work being done on the mound. There's a swing and a miss, strike three. And the first out of the inning for Avery Smith as Childs strikes out. That'll bring up Andrea Turner.
Number 33, Andrea Turner.
Turner, the first baseman for Newfoundland Labrador in this game. Turner, 16 years old, from St. John's. Plays first base as well as outfield. Comes up with 2 on and 1 out here in the first. Grounder back up through the middle. Picked up by the shortstop over to second in time for 1. So Turner will reach on a fielder's choice, 6-4. Bennett out
Number
at
23,
second.
Chantal
Saunders
Patey-Callahan.
reaches third. And that'll bring up Chantal Patey-Callahan. Patey-Callahan is 15 years old, from Corner Brook. She's the right fielder this afternoon, also does some pitching for Newfoundland Labrador. And the first pitch comes in high, and with runners on the corners, that runner from first heads down to second, and not drawing a throw to avoid having the runner from third try to come in to score. So it's now second and third with 2 away. That one comes in outside, and it's ball 2. 2-0 the count here on the left-handed hitting Patey-Callahan, the right fielder. Smith takes the sign and delivers. And that one's over the plate. Count goes 2-1. Two and 1. Count gets confirmed. Thank you very much, Mr. Umpire. I always get a little bit paranoid that I'm missing a ball somewhere. That one gets through the catcher, but not far enough away for a run to score. Count goes to 3-1. One thing you'll notice about the field here at Joan Lenahan's field, not much of an area behind the plate, between the plate and the backstop, so balls that get beyond the catcher don't end up going very far away. And there's a walk for Patey-Callahan, so she'll take first. That'll load the bases for Maddie Healy.
Number 16, Maddie Healy.
Healy will be playing third base today, and Healy, another 15-year-old infielder and pitcher from St. John's, Newfoundland, right-handed batter. Swing and a miss at the first pitch there, and the count quickly goes 0-1 on Healy. Bases are loaded, 2 away here. That one comes in behind the batter. Takes a bad bounce off the fence as far as Nova Scotia is concerned. And coming in on that wild pitch is Saunders to score. Turner takes third. Patey-Callahan goes to second. And the count goes to 1-1. And time called while Patey-Callahan has to retie her shoe. And that will bring up the first run of the game. Where am I? There we go. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 2. Count goes to 1-2. So Smith has a chance to get out of the inning here without too much more damage, just the 1 run possibly. But she's gonna. That one comes in a bit low, 2-2 the count. As Smith having a little bit of trouble here finding the zone early. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. as Nova Scotia Team Blue or Nova Scotia 2. There's a grounder down to third, picked up by the third baseman. Good strong throw across from Syliboy over to Strong in time. And that will do it for the first inning. 1 run, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After half of an inning, it is
Results.
Newfoundland
At the top
1
of the first inning, 1
and
run,
Nova
no
Scotia
hits, no errors. Pitch
coming
count stands at 27.
And taking you through the batting order again for Nova Scotia, Shauna Galloway, the center fielder, will lead off. Leah Copeland, Haley Strong, rounding out the top third of the order. Middle third, Riley Johnson, Fenway Ryder, Victoria Gates. And the bottom third, Avery Smith, Lanissa Syliboy, and Vanessa Dort. For Newfoundland Labrador defensively, around the outfield from left to right, it is Megan Bennett, Brianna Saunders, and Chantel Patey-Callahan. Around the infield from third to first, Maddie Healy, Brooklyn Childs, Hannah Legge, and Andrea Turner. Behind the plate, asking for the pitches, Haley Companion, and delivering those pitches is number 8, Bethany Brophy. Brophy, a 16-year-old pitcher from Pasadena, Newfoundland, and she also plays a little bit of infield when she's not pitching. Brophy, a right-handed pitcher, with, as I watch her throw her warm-up tosses here, very much a straight overhand or straight overhead delivery. What I've heard described sometimes as a bit of a slinging delivery, as she comes forward with that elbow first, and then the forearm follows. So
leading off the bottom of the first inning for Team Nova Scotia, number 2, Shona Galloway.
So Galloway will lead off for Nova Scotia. Galloway, just trying to find my notes here, takes strike 1. Galloway from Upper Tantallon, not too far from here actually, here in Halifax Regional Municipality. Probably about 20-25 minutes down the road. Takes a strike on the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. The 1-2 count, or the 0-2 count, excuse me, on Galloway here. Shaking off the first sign, taking the second one is Brophy, and Brophy will deliver. Fouled off, and the count will stay 0-2 on the right-handed hitting center fielder for Team Nova Scotia Blue. So the other team for Nova Scotia, referred to as Nova Scotia 1 or Nova Scotia White, are in Division B. This is the Nova Scotia 2 or Nova Scotia Blue team. They're in Pool C here at this tournament. This pool, basically the Atlantic pool, as it's got Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia 2, Prince Edward Island, and New Brunswick. Pool B consisting of British Columbia, Nova Scotia 1, Quebec 2, and I'm missing one. Saskatchewan, that's the other one. Grounder down to second base, picked up, and over to first in time. Good solid play there by Legge at second to get the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Leah
Number
Copeland.
1, Leah Copeland.
Copeland, just 12 years old, as is Galloway, I should point out. 12 years old, from Fall River, Nova Scotia, also here in the Halifax Regional Municipality. Not too far at all from Bedford, actually. Copeland playing shortstop here today. This Nova Scotia 2 team, very young. Takes a strike 1. As I look through this roster, other than Victoria Gates and Tamika Stevens, all of them 12, 13, 14, one 15-year-old, Aaliyah Strong. So this is very much a developmental team to get these girls ready for tournaments again in the future. Popped up to the third base side, and third baseman Maddie Healy making the catch. Brooklyn Childs coming over.
Number 7, Haley Strong.
Calling for it, but not getting it. That'll bring up Haley Strong. Strong is, where am I? Haley Strong, there we go. From Grand Lake, Nova Scotia, 13 years old, playing left field. There's a swing and a miss, strike one. And where am I? Go.
I remember her from her batting stance last year.
Takes a ball, and the count goes to 1-1. Takes a strike, and it's now 1-2. One ball, two strikes. Grand Lake also here in the HRM area. Takes 2-2. So this is very much, for the most part, a local team. You've got a player from Eskasoni, one player from Spring Hill, as mentioned, a player from Lordways up Antigonish County way. Grounder down to third. Good strong throw across the infield there from Maddie Healy. And that will do it for the bottom of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base through one complete. It is Newfoundland Labrador 1, Nova Scotia Blue 0. Due up in the top of the second, it is Mackenzie Byrne, Hannah Leggy, and Bethany Brophy.
At the bottom of the first inning, no runs.
Quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard. Nova Scotia White now leading British Columbia 4-3.
The pitch count is 12.
And they're in the top of the second inning over there as well. We're in the top of the second inning here, as mentioned. And just a quick look to see if we can get an update. No update as of yet from Weir Field, where Quebec 2 is playing Saskatchewan. That is, as mentioned, the other Pool B game, along with that Pool B game happening over at Robert Lenahan, which is just a few hundred feet away from us here, where we're at Joan Lenahan Field. Speaking of a few hundred feet, we'll give you the dimensions of Joan Lenahan Field here. Down the right field line, it's 254, 259 to straightaway center, and the short porch in right, 218. So you may see a few players. There were a few players in that first game we had between Ontario and Quebec who looked like they might have the power to maybe pull one over that right field fence. It's a short porch, or short fence there. The fence itself is actually rather tall, but it's only 218 feet away, which is where the challenge comes in. It's awfully tempting if you're a left-handed hitter to look at that short field in right there to try and maybe pull one into that fence.
The top of the second inning for Newfoundland and Labrador, number 12, Mackenzie Byrne.
That'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. She's the extra hitter in the Newfoundland Labrador lineup. Byrne from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland Labrador. 15 years old. Swing and a miss, strike one. Byrne actually was named MVP at the provincials. Takes outside, ball one, 1-1. And lists Josh Donaldson as her favorite player. Wow. Takes high and outside, ball two, 2-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike on Byrne. Here comes the pitch. And that comes in just a little bit low. 3-1 now, the count. Three balls, 1 strike. And good contact on that one into center field. It'll get past the center fielder, Galloway. And coming into second with a stand-up double to lead off the second inning is Mackenzie Byrne. Byrne with the double.
And number 14, Hannah Legg.
That'll bring up Leggy. Hannah Leggy, the second baseman for Team Newfoundland Labrador. She's from Cowhead, Newfoundland, and she's just 14 years old. And a pickoff play successful for the first out of the inning. Byrne picked off first base, and that will mean that Leggy now is up with 1 out and nobody on. Nice play there to get that pickoff. Smith throwing that one behind Leggy. Is it Leg or Leggy?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
It is Leg? Okay. Okay.
You say tomato.
That one catches the corner, and the count 1-1.
Nobody's screaming. They said leg, so.
Swing and a miss there, and the count now 1-2. Smith sets and delivers. And there's strike 3. Catches are looking. Second strikeout of the game for Smith, and that'll bring up Bethany Brophy.
Number 8, Bethany Brophy.
Brophy, the pitcher for Newfoundland Labrador. Comes up with 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the second inning. Takes inside. Ball 1, 1-0 now the count. Takes outside, and the count goes 2-0. Brophy was team MVP at the Nationals last year in Ontario. Has been playing baseball for the last 7 seasons. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 2-1. And if 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. That one catches the inside corner. Count goes 2-2. And if anybody watching back home, most of my background is in hockey, so I see the name Brophy and I hear Newfoundland. I immediately start thinking John Brophy. Just curious if there's any relation there. John Brophy, the former coach of the Leafs, going back a few years. Count now run full on Brophy here. And the payoff pitch catches the outside corner. And I don't know if you could see the look on Brophy's face, but from up here it was pretty clear that she was a little bit surprised by that. But as the pitcher for Newfoundland Labrador, she probably isn't going to want to react too much, as she's going to want to get that call going her way later on this afternoon. So we're going to head to...
Top of the second results, no runs on 1 hit, no errors. Pitch count stands at 42.
We're going to head to the bottom of the second inning. Again, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. After 1.5, it is Newfoundland 1, Nova Scotia Blue 0. And due up in the bottom of the second inning, it's going to be the 3-4-5 hitters for Nova Scotia: Riley Johnston, Fenway Ryder, and Victoria Gates. And a quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard. Bottom of the second inning now in the game, just a couple hundred feet away over at Robert Lenahan, 4-4 between British Columbia and Nova Scotia 1. You can watch that game on Bell Alliant TV 1. And the game from Weir Field, we still don't have an update on what's going on between Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan. And that the second and final game from Weir Field, it's just being used for 2 games this tournament. Everything else is going to be here at this facility where we have the 2 ballparks just a couple hundred feet apart. In fact, that right field porch right field fence that I was talking about, it actually is shared with the left field fence in Robert Lenahan. Or no, it's
leading off for Team Nova Scotia in the bottom of the second inning, number 14, Riley Johnson.
That'll bring up Riley Johnson, or is it Johnston. Riley Johnston from Prospect Bay, 14 years old. Pitches and catches. Today she's playing behind the plate. Swing and a miss there. And the count 0-1. A 1 pitch. Taken for strike 2. Count quickly 0-2 on Johnston from Prospect Bay, which is also here in the HRM, just down towards Peggy's Cove a little bit. And that one hits Johnston on the foot, and that will allow her to take first base, which will bring up Fenway Ryder.
Number 11, Fenway Ryder.
Ryder is 14 years old from Sackville, also just a little bit down the road. And if you're wondering, yes, she is named after Fenway Park. Part of the bio that she wrote out, and all the athletes write out one of these bios for us so that we've got these little notes. Named after Fenway Park. She was born back in 2004 and made her first visit to Fenway 3 years ago for her birthday. She got to see her favorite team, the Red Sox, win the game. She also got a bunch of autographs, so not much better birthday present than that. When your name is Fenway, you go to Fenway and the Sox win. Strike on the outside corner. Throw down to second as Johnson gets the steal. So Riley Johnston now at second base for Nova Scotia Blue. And Ryder looking to cash in the runner in scoring position. Pitch coming from Brophy. Comes in a bit low. And inside. And the count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Ryder. Throw back to second. And getting back in time is Johnston. Brophy takes a look back at second again. Now will deliver. Comes inside. And the count goes 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike here on Ryder, the second baseman for Team Nova Scotia Blue. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. And Ryder gets that one. And what a play by the shortstop. Beautiful catch by Childs. to catch that ball and double off Johnston. Johnston
Number
double
12,
off
Victoria
second
Gates.
with a beautiful catch there by Brooklyn Childs. That'll bring up Victoria Gates. Gates is the left fielder for Nova Scotia in this game, the 17-year-old from Berwick over in Kings County, down in the valley. Swing and a miss, strike one. And as I understand it, and I could be mistaken because goodness knows it's happened before and plenty of times before. As I understand it, some of the teams in the C division are allowed to have 1 or 2 overage players, and with her being 17, or it could be that just that when in her year her birthday falls. I might have misunderstood what I was told earlier, and. Have to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine who I see has just logged in to watch the game, Kevin Northup, down Yarmouth Way. Kevin, so glad to have you here joining us for this broadcast. Swing and a miss, and the count goes 1-2. Kevin, one of my fellow broadcasters in the Maritime Hockey League, he does the Yarmouth Mariners games while I do the Pictou County Weeks Junior A Crushers. He's also the director of communications now for the Maritime Hockey League. Nice play there by the shortstop to nab the ball, but not able to find her feet to set and throw was Brooklyn Childs. And getting confirmation from our official scorer just down the table that was a base hit, as she did everything she could to get that one.
Smith.
That'll bring up Avery Smith. Smith, 13-year-old from Spring Hill. She's, of course, the one pitching for Nova Scotia in this game. Comes up with a runner on first and swing and a miss. Strike one. So Gates reaches on the infield single. And, yeah, you couldn't ask for much more than from Childs after she got that ball. And, of course, Childs made that beautiful double play earlier this inning as well. Takes high ball 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, and 2 out, just to ruin the uniformity there. And the umpire calls a balk. And so Gates will take second. And runner now at second base. As Brophy, just a little bit of a extra shimmy of the shoulders apparently. Now throw back to second. And able to get back is Gates. And I see another of my broadcasting buddies has joined the broadcast, watching the stream. Hello, Alex Terrio. One of my colleagues that I work with, actually with the Pictou County Weeks Junior A Crushers. Takes that one outside, 2-1. It's like old home week here for this game. I got Kevin Northup, Alex Terrio both watching. Guys, thanks so much. Everybody else who's tuning in, thank you so much to all of you for being here as part of this broadcast. Takes high ball 3-1 the count. If you are just joining us, as you can see on your screen, it is 1-0 in favor of Newfoundland Labrador over Team Nova Scotia 2, or Nova Scotia Blue, in the bottom of the second inning. Nova Scotia, one of 2 provinces with 2 teams at this tournament, the other being Quebec. Nova Scotia's 2 teams in Pool B and Pool C. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 2, and the count goes full. Quebec's 2 teams are in Pool A and Pool B. Nova Scotia's 2 teams are in Pool B and Pool C. And speaking of the Pool B Nova Scotia team, they're actually on the field right now, just a little bit to our right. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will do it for the bottom of the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base, and through 2 complete. It is.
Not anymore. Never was. That was. Throw him out. Throw him out. She didn't actually throw the ball anyway, did she? No.
through.
Zeros, guys, and what's pitch count? 29 total, thank you.
There was one hit that inning.
Zeros, right, across the board.
No, one hit.
Sorry. One hit.
So due up in the top of the third for Newfoundland Labrador, it will be the catcher, Haley Companion, then back around to the top of the order for Brianna Saunders and Megan Bennett. And again, no runs, one hit.
Nova Scotia.
And no errors, one runner left
One
on
hit,
base.
no errors, nobody left on base. Pitch count is 29.
And so again, that'll bring us to the top of the third inning, with Newfoundland leading it by a score of 1-0. Quick update on what's going on elsewhere here this afternoon. And we'll tell you that right now, over on Robert Lenahan, it is 4-4 into the top of the third between British Columbia and Nova Scotia White, or Nova Scotia 1. That's a B pool game. The other B pool game going on right now over at Weirfield. Just getting underway, top of the first inning between Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan, and they are looking for the first run of the game there, obviously just getting underway. A couple of finals from earlier today, if you're just joining us. Pool A action, Quebec 1 defeated Ontario 5-1, while Alberta beat Manitoba 22-3. The other Pool C game, New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, they played earlier this afternoon, or earlier this morning is when they started.
For Team Newfoundland and Labrador, number 6, Haley Companion.
The score in that one, New Brunswick beat Prince Edward Island 8-1. Leading off the top of the third, Haley Companion for Newfoundland Labrador. And she fouls off the first pitch. And Companion from Corner Brook, 16 years old, plays catcher and outfielder. She is the catcher here in this game today. Takes a little bit high, ball 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on the right-handed hitting catcher for Newfoundland Labrador. Takes another one just high, ball 2-1. Very entertaining ball game we've had here so far between Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Both pitchers doing a pretty good job. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 2, 2-2. Strong so far, or Smith, so far on the mound for Nova Scotia Blue. 3 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. She had a little bit of control trouble early, walking 3 runners, and one of them coming around to score. But there's strike 3, and there's her 4th strikeout victim of the day, catching Companion looking. That'll bring us around to the top of the order, Brianna Saunders. She was one of those.
Brianna Saunders.
One of those walks back in the first. Ended up coming around to score what is so far the game's only run. Saunders, the center fielder for Newfoundland Labrador this afternoon. And the first pitch to her from Smith comes in high, ball 1. Saunders, can't say for certain, but if I had to guess, there's a slow roller to short, picked up and across in time. Good strong throw from Leah Copeland there to get Saunders. For the second out of the inning, that'll bring up Megan Bennett. She walked
Number 50,
and was
Bennett.
canceled out on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. And the first pitch to Bennett comes in a bit high. That one's popped up into foul territory, third base side, and over the fence and out of play. And the count goes 1-1. There's the pitch, comes in a bit high again, and the count goes 2-1 on Bennett. 2 balls, 1 strike the count here on Bennett, the left fielder for Newfoundland Labrador. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count. Smith with the delivery. And that catches the inside corner. 5th strikeout of the game for Smith. She may have had some struggles early, but has settled right down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base through 2.5. It's still 1-0 in favor of Newfoundland Labrador.
Results after the top of the third inning.
Due up in the bottom of the third, it'll be 8-9-1 for Nova Scotia 2, Nova Scotia Blue. Lanissa Sillaboy, Vanessa Dort, and then back around to the top for Shauna Galloway. That must have been on the other video. Okay. As we get ready for the bottom of the third here, Lanissa Sillaboy. Sillaboy from Eskasoni over on Cape Breton Island. Sillaboy, 14 years old.
Leading off the bottom of the third inning for Team Nova Scotia, number 15, Lanissa Sillaboy.
Sillaboy takes high, ball 1. Sillaboy playing third base for Team Nova Scotia this afternoon. Takes inside, ball 2, 2-0. Sillaboy also listed as a pitcher for Team Nova Scotia Blue. So she'll spend a bit of time on the mound throughout the course of this weekend. And pitch efficiency so important. There, takes high, ball 3, 3-0. When you're talking about pitch count maximums and days of rest and everything else, anytime you can force the pitcher for the other team to go deep into a count, obviously that's beneficial to you. Takes a strike right down the pipe, and the count goes to 3-1 now. And there's a strike on the outside corner, 3-2. And Lenny, as I see she is called, has some fans watching on Facebook. And there's one right down the pike for strike 3, caught looking. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Vanessa Dort. Dort is from Guysborough.
Number 5, Vanessa Dort.
Dort, 14 years old, as mentioned, from Guysborough. She's playing right field today. Also, will spend some time on the mound throughout the course of this weekend as well. Takes a strike, and the count quickly 0-1 on Dort. And I should mention, for any of Vanessa's fans, we're probably somehow related. If you go back a little ways, my wife is related to the Guysborough Dorts, 4 or 5 generations back, but still. So by marriage, hello cousins. If any of the Dorts are listening back home there in Guysborough. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. But of course, I'm still going to be broadcasting impartially, because, you know, that's what we got to do. There's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And a couple of quick strikeouts here for Brophy on the mound. And that'll bring us back up to the top of the order, Shauna Galloway.
Number 2, Shona Galloway.
Galloway grounded out to second her first time up. Or Shona Galloway, excuse me. Takes just a bit outside. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. Yeah. That's my fault. The pronunciator guide is actually there, and I missed that one, so I do sincerely apologize. There's a swing and a miss from Shona Galloway, and the count goes to 1-1. Shona in her 4th year of baseball, and hopes to be a doctor someday. High aspirations, which is excellent to see. Gets that one out into right field for a single. So extending the 3rd inning here. That'll bring up Leah Copeland.
Number 1, Leah Copeland.
Copeland popped out to the 3rd baseman first time up. Comes up here with 1 on and 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The first pitch, and getting into second base with the steal is Shona Galloway. As that ball came in a little bit low and a little bit difficult to handle there for Companion, so didn't even try to throw down to second base. Probably the wise move. Just getting back in. Good pickoff move there by the pitcher, Brophy. And Child's able to sneak in behind her there to get to the bag. It made for a very close play down there at second base. But able to slide in was Galloway. Back to Copeland at the plate now with the 1-0 count. That comes in high, and the count goes 2-0. Copeland listed as 4'4". That's based on the stats I have here from the Baseball Canada website. This is actually a small team here for the Nova Scotia Blue team. Although some of the players, they're listed at 4 foot even, and they're definitely taller than that. Copeland with the 3-0 count now in her favor. Takes ball 4, and so it'll be now first and second for Haley Strong. Yeah, Strong, according
Number
to the
7,
sheet here.
Haley Strong.
According to the sheet here, Strong is 4 foot even. She's not 4 foot even. So there's obviously a bit of a mix-up on some of these stats that we've been given. Time is called as the coach for Newfoundland Labrador goes out to talk things over with his pitcher. Mind you, it says the person who's batting right now is 4'0", so some of those numbers we gotta take with boulders of salt. So Brophy will continue with the ball here with runners on first and second and 2 away, and the first pitch is grounded down the first base line, picked up there by Turner, and she'll touch the bag herself for the unassisted 3rd out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base, and through 3 complete, it is still 1-0 in favor of Newfoundland Labrador.
Say again. Thank you.
So that'll bring us to the top of the 4th. and
No
due
errors,
up
no
for
runs on one
Newfoundland
hit,
Labrador.
no errors. Pitch count stands at 47 total.
Due up for Newfoundland Labrador in the top of the fourth. It'll be the shortstop Childs, the first baseman Turner, and the right fielder Patty Callahan. And both of these teams, we're getting a lot of good positive feedback from fans of both of these teams, and deservedly so. Both playing good, solid defense, both getting the bats on the balls, making decent contact. And, all you can really ask for when you're doing something like this is to have entertaining baseball, and that's what we're having here in this afternoon's game between Newfoundland Labrador and Nova Scotia Team Blue. Why did that happen? Sometimes I forget that my mic is open and I just start singing along with the music because the music is dangerously good. I really should know better. All right. I blame the music guy for playing too good of music. Making me sing along.
Leading off the top of the fourth inning for Newfoundland and Labrador, number 10, Brooklyn Childs.
That'll bring up Childs. She struck out her first time up back in the first inning. And takes the first one just a little bit low, ball one. 1-0 the count. I have to give a huge thank you to Holly Lapierre, the head of the organizing committee for this. She gave me a big binder with bios for all of the players in the tournament. That one comes in high, ball 2-0, and I'm trying to make reference to it throughout the course of these broadcasts. The only problem is we got ourselves a little bit windy day here, and makes it a little bit more challenging. Takes on the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. Child's two-time Corner Brook Female Athlete of the Year. This is her 5th year representing Newfoundland at the 16 and under Invitational. So she started back when she was just 11 years old. And swing and a miss there, and the count goes 2-2. And a two-sport athlete as well. Gets a piece of that one to stay alive as the count goes 2-2. As she's been playing hockey for 3 years. And how's this for a stat? At the 2017 Baseball Newfoundland Provincials under 16, batted .855. An .855 batting average in the Baseball Newfoundland Provincials in 2017. Swing and a miss there, and second strikeout of the game for Childs. That'll bring up Andrea Turner.
Number 33, Andrea Turner.
Turner grounded into a fielder's choice her first time up. Turner also in her 5th year with Team Newfoundland Labrador, and lines that one foul down the third base side. Good solid contact on that one, but just a little bit in front of the ball, and the count goes to 0-1. One of those what we refer to as loud strikes by Turner. And the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Some pretty decent movement on that pitch from Smith. As she caught Turner chasing. That one comes in high and inside, and the count goes to 1-2. Smith doing a pretty good job of mixing up her locations, mixing up her velocities as well. That one comes in tight, And the count goes 2-2. A definitely windy day here in Bedford, as the wind blowing in from the outfield right into the faces of these batters, almost directly in from center field. That one comes in just a bit outside, and the count goes to 3-2. So definitely going to see a decrease in power in this game as a result of that. It is a significant wind pulling in from straightaway center. That'll bring up, that walk will bring up
Number 23, Chantal Patey Callahan.
Patey Callahan, who she walked her first time up. Comes up now with 1 on, 1 out. And we have a pinch runner coming in for Turner. Coming in to run is going to be Shiloh Chislett.
Is she replacing her?
Chislett, number 7, coming in to pinch run. Chislett from Stephenville, Newfoundland. Or Stephenville, Newfoundland, Labrador, 14 years old. Coming in as a pinch runner here to take over for Turner. And just the coach giving the umpire confirmation of that lineup change.
So Andrea, done the game or just put the new one in there?
Yeah. So yeah, getting confirmation. 7, which is Chislett in for 33 as the pinch runner. And we'll see if there's a substitution back the other way. And first things, as soon as play comes back in, we get Smith throwing over to first, and getting back in time is Chislett. And here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. High and inside to Patey Callahan. And the count goes 1-0. One ball, no strikes. That one comes in for a strike, and the count goes now 1-1. Chantel Patey Callahan says she loves playing guitar and singing as well as being an athlete. So great to see these well-rounded young individuals. You know, we're seeing a lot of, multi-sport athletes or being involved in other things. Throw down to second, gets past the second baseman or the shortstop Copeland, but not far enough away to allow Chislett to get any further than just second base. Swing and a miss on the pitch, and the count goes to 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Patey Callahan. And the pitch comes in high and outside. Count goes now 2-2. A little later on today, we're hoping to get the president of Baseball Nova Scotia, Jason Dixon, in to join us for an inning or two. Hoping to. That comes in high, and the count goes full on Patey Callahan as the Team Quebec bus pulling back in. That's the Quebec team that played earlier this morning and now is back. There's ball in the dirt, heading down to third, and getting in safely is Chislett. Patey Callahan reaches on the walk, and And the ball getting away from the catcher,
Number
allowing
16, Maddie Healy.
Chislett to get to third. That'll bring up Maddie Healy. She grounded out to third her first time up, ending the first inning. Comes up now with runners on the corners and one away here in the fourth. First we have a meeting at the mound. And just waiting to see if we're going to... I don't think we're going to see a pitching change here. But sometimes you're never too sure until the ball is actually taken from the hand. And no, we're not going to see a pitching change here. Probably a bit of a discussion on what to do with the runners on the corners situation. And with it only being a one-run game, if I had to guess, I would say there would not be a throw through to second to prevent that runner from third trying to come home and score. And we do have a throw down to second, but now we're going to have the throw back home, and caught at the plate is Chislett. So Patty Callahan takes second, but the attempted steal of home, and Chislett is caught stealing for the second out of the inning. Well played there. So the 2-4-2 on the putout for the caught stealing of Chislett, as a good strong throw there from Ryder as she cut in front of the bag and cut the ball off and threw a strong strike right to home plate for the caught stealing. Nice play there. That one comes in for a ball. And the count is 3-0 now on Healy. Now just a single runner on, that being Patty Callahan on second base. 2 away now here in the inning, and that was a strike for the 3-1 count now on Healy. Still the one-run ball game, the only run coming way back in the top of the first inning. That one comes in low for a ball 4. And that means we'll have runners at first and second for Mackenzie Byrne.
Number 12, Mackenzie Byrne.
Byrne, the extra hitter, hit a leadoff double back in the second inning and then got picked off of second base. As we've got another change for Newfoundland Labrador, I believe it's another pinch runner coming in, this time for Healy. And just waiting to get confirmation of who that pinch runner is taking over for Healy.
Hello, you got a change?
2 for 16. So coming in to pinch run is Molly Healy for Maddie Healy. Coming in as a pinch runner. And there's a strike on Mackenzie Byrne. And Molly Healy. Where can I find? Where is she? Molly Healy, we actually didn't get a bio sheet on, so can't say too much about her. But she's able to get to second base on a pass ball there. And the count goes to 1-1. I'm sure somebody who's watching, if you could let us know if they are in fact sisters or cousins, or if the Healy girls are even related to each other. Grounder down to second and over to first from Ryder for the third out of the inning. So no runs. They threatened no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. And the score remains 1-0 through 3.5 innings.
Results after the top of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Pitch count stands at 80.
So yeah, just to for those of you just joining us, Nova Scotia is in blue. Newfoundland Labrador is in black. So they are sisters. Thank you, Colleen, for confirming that. So I just saw from one of my watchers on the stream, they are sisters. The Healy girls. Due up in the bottom of the fourth for Nova Scotia will be Riley Johnston, Fenway Ryder, and Victoria Gates. And if anybody gets on, then Avery Smith. And just looking to see, re-entering the game is first baseman Andrea Turner, and also re-entering the game at third base Maddie Healy. So those pinch runners who came in now back out of the game for Team Newfoundland Labrador. So that will end the game for Chislett and Molly Healy. So 33 and 16, that is Turner and Healy, Maddie Healy, re-entering the game in their original positions as first and third base respectively.
Number 14, Riley Johnson.
And that'll bring up Riley Johnston. She was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and then doubled off of second.
The winner of the 50-50.
And that one's foul down the left field line.
50-50 was
Plenty of power,
8-7.
but foul for Johnston.
Say those numbers and the winner should be over here. Is that what you're saying?
No, we already got the winner.
Do you know who the winner is?
No, she didn't tell us her name.
Okay.
So a long, loud strike there for Johnston to start the bottom of the fourth inning.
Was that the other field? There you go. Thank you, guys.
And we quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard, or at least other field scoreboard. In the top of the fourth inning, British Columbia leads Nova Scotia White, or Nova Scotia Team 1, 10-4. In the top of the third, Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan still looking for the first run of the game there. And we got a swing and a miss here by Johnston, and the count goes to 0-2, and I just dropped my pen. There we go. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's the fourth strikeout of the afternoon by Brophy on the
Number
mound.
11, Fenway Ryder.
That'll bring up Fenway Ryder. Ryder lined into that double play to short back in the second inning to double off Johnston. A great play by the shortstop Childs to make the catch and get over to the bag and beat Johnston out. The unassisted double play there. Ryder takes ball 1 down in the dirt, and the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Newfoundland pitching to Nova Scotia. And that one comes in low as well. Nova Scotia are the home team here in this game, so they'll be batting in the bottoms of the innings. That one comes in on the inside corner. 2-1 count now on Ryder, as Brophy continues to pitch a pretty good ball game here, throwing 4 strikeouts through 3 1/3 innings so far. Ryder gets a hold of that one out to right field, and making the catch is Patty Callahan. And if there's no wind or the wind is blowing out,
Number 12,
that could be
Victoria
a very
Gates.
different outcome. That'll bring up Victoria Gates. She singled in the second inning. Comes up now with nobody on and 2 away here in the fourth. And my book wreaking havoc at the table here. Little grounder to the pitcher. Brophy able to get off the mound, but then throws wild. And that will allow Gates to get down to second on the error. Which will allow the inning to continue, bringing up the Nova Scotia pitcher, Avery Smith. Smith struck out her first time up, one of the 4 strikeout victims for Brophy so
Number
far this
9,
afternoon.
Avery Smith.
Smith apparently has the nickname Herb, as she normally wears the number 10 jersey. She's wearing 9 in this tournament. As Smith couldn't hold up there, count goes to 0-1. Herb Terrace of the Spring Hill Fence Busters in the Nova Scotia Sports Hall of Fame, and that's why she wears number 10. Swinging a foul tip there, and the count goes to 0-2. So she has the nickname Herb for wearing that number, although, as mentioned, this week she's wearing 9 instead of 10. Takes high and outside, ball 1-2 the count. Plans to be an optometrist. I still don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up. I don't think I'm ever going to grow up, though, so there you go. 1-2. Pitch comes in high, count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here on Smith. Runner on second, and 2 away. So deuces wild all over the board here. Runner on base number 2, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Throw back to second, and getting back in time is Gates.
Someone should charge the mound just for fun. Don't say anything.
I'm not. I wouldn't dare. 2-2 pitch coming in. Comes in high, 3-2. All I'm going to say is I did the Baseball Nova Scotia 18 and under boys provincials last weekend, and we almost saw that happen a few times.
Boys, though.
Oh, yeah.
Boys and attitudes.
Yeah, and that 18-year-old age group. That one comes in the dirt for ball 4. Gets away from the catcher, which allows Gates to get down to third. Smith will take first on the walk, bringing up Lanissa Syllaboy.
Number 15, Lanissa Syllaboy.
Or Lanny, as I believe she was referred to earlier here. I can find that comment again. Make sure I'm getting it right. Yeah, or Lenny, excuse me. As we have a meeting here on the mound with the pitcher Brophy, the catcher companion, and one of the coaches for Team Newfoundland Labrador. Runners on the corners with 2 out here, bottom of the 4th inning. Newfoundland Labrador leading by just that single run, 1-0. That run coming way back in the top of the 1st inning. We've had ourselves quite the pitching duel since then. And here comes the first pitch. Runner from first, able to get to second as the ball squirted through just a little bit there on companion. Although I think again with the runner on the corner situation, there probably wouldn't have been much of a throw, or wouldn't have been a throw down to second anyway. Although we saw the successful throw to second and then catch the runner back in the top of the 4th. Count now 1-1 on Syllaboy after the first pitch was low for a ball. Second pitch she swings at for a strike. 1-1 now the count. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2, 1-2. Potential tying run on third base, potential lead run on second. Grounder towards short, charging the ball but not able to get a handle on it, and everybody's safe. was Childs. So we're all tied up at 1 now. So Smith gets to 3rd, Syllaboy gets to 1st, and Gates comes in to score. And that will do it for the pitcher, Bethany Brophy. And coming in to replace her on the mound is going to be number 21, Hope Bishop Frazzle. So Hope Bishop Frazzle will take over on the mound.
Yes.
And Bishop Frazzle from Conception Bay South, 14 years old. Plays infield as well as pitcher. And she takes over with runners on the corners and 2 away here in what is now a tie game, 1-1 between Newfoundland Labrador and Nova Scotia Blue. That last play, was it called an error or an infield hit?
Error.
It was an error? Okay. The line on the starting pitcher, Bethany Brophy, she pitched 3 2/3 innings, striking out 4, giving up just 2 hits, walking 2, had 2 runners reach by error. She gave up 1 run, which was unearned. She is still responsible
Coming
for
into
the
play
runners
for Team
on
Nova
1st
Scotia,
and 3rd.
number 5, Vanessa Dort.
And leading off, it's going to be Vanessa Dort, or not leading off, but the first batter that Bishop Frazzle will face will be Vanessa Dort. Dort struck out back in the 3rd inning. Comes up now, 2 on, 2 out, runner going, swing and a miss, and just a throw back to the mound as Syllaboy able to take second base uncontested. Not defensive indifference, but just an uncontested steal. Swing and a miss, strike 2, as good motion on that curveball from Bishop Frazzle. On the pronunciation guide, I was given Frazzle as the pronunciation there. That one comes in outside, 1 and 2. So if I am mispronouncing it, I'm just trying to go with the information I was given. Here's the 1-2 pitch, fouled back, and it'll stay 1 and 2 on Dort. The potential lead run now at 3rd base. 1-2 pitch, just inside, count goes 2 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Dort, the right fielder for Nova Scotia. That one comes in a bit high and the count goes full, 3 and 2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here with runners on 2nd and 3rd in the bottom of the 4th inning. To call this a key pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will do it. 1 run on no hits. There were 2 errors and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 4 complete innings, we're tied at 1 apiece. Going into the top of the 5th, due up for Newfoundland. It's going to be Legg, Bishop Frazzle, and Companion.
Results for Team Nova Scotia: 1 run on no hits. 1 hit, no errors, and pitch count 7.
1 run, no hits, 2 errors.
Correction. 1 run, no hits, 2 errors, and pitch count remains at 7.
There we go. All right. right, as mentioned, due up in the top of the 5th, it's going to be Leg, Brophy, and Bishop, Leg, Bishop, Frazzle, and Companion. And we'll take another quick look at what's going on elsewhere. First, have to check what's.
I'll need a credit card that's got no limit and a big black chain with a bedroom in it. Gonna join the Mile High Club at 37,000 feet.
Done that.
I want a new tour bus full of old guitars. I'm a star on Hollywood Boulevard. Somewhere between Cher and James Dean is fine for me.
In the bottom of the 4th inning, it is British Columbia leading Nova Scotia 11-4. Top of the 4th inning, Quebec 2 leads Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan still tied at 0. And here we're going into the top of the 5th with Newfoundland, Labrador, and Nova Scotia 2, or Nova Scotia Blue, tied at 1. Smith still out there pitching for Nova Scotia. Smith so far with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts over 4 innings, giving up just the 1 run. And she'll face Hannah Legg for the second time. Legg was one of the 6 strikeout victims so far this afternoon for the right-handed Nova Scotia pitcher.
Leading off for Team Newfoundland and Labrador, number 14, Hannah Legg.
According to her bio sheet, this is just her 2nd year playing baseball. And takes the first pitch. And here comes the next one, fouled back. And I don't know why I duck, but that one was coming almost straight at me. Hannah Legg apparently was a gold medal winner at the under-13 baseball for all nationals with the Chicago Pioneers. That's kind of cool. Takes that one, and the count goes to 1-2, I do believe. And thank you for giving me confirmation on that. The count is indeed 1-2. And that one, grounder down to third. Nice pick up there by Ryder for the first out of the inning. Hard grounder, picked up on a short hop.
This should be Hope.
There. This now batting should be, and indeed is, the
Number
new
21,
pitcher,
Hope Bishop Frizzell.
Hope Bishop Frizzell, her first plate appearance here of the tournament. As mentioned, she's 15 from Corner Brook, Newfoundland. She's 14 from Conception Bay South. And takes a ball to start the at-bat here. And that one catches the outside corner, 1-1. Fouls that one back, and the count goes to 1-2. And Hope Bishop Frizzell,
So where are we at right now?
according to her bio sheet, and this written out by her herself, born with a heart condition, still has semi-ventricular tachycardia. So, anytime a person's able to battle through a condition with her heart and still be a high-level athlete, can't help but be impressed by that. There's a grounder down to short, gathered up, throw across in time as Copeland gets the put out, or gets the assist, because the put out is credited to the first baseman.
Number 6, Haley Companion.
That'll bring up Companion. She's one of the 6 strikeout victims
Just struck
for Smith so far this afternoon. Companion takes high, ball 1.
We would actually say something here. Fish the back.
Companion also part of the Chicago Pioneers team that won gold there just a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. Did we announce that?
Here comes the pitch. That one's fouled off. And one ball, 2 strikes, the count here on Companion, with 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Nice curveball in for a strike. Catches her looking. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Through 4.5, we're still tied 1-1 going to the bottom of the 5th.
The results, no runs, no hits, no errors. Pitch count stands right now at 93 total.
And due up for Nova Scotia Blue in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be Galloway, Copeland, and Strong, the top of the order. Another update over at the other field. We're getting well ahead of them here. They're just into the bottom, or they're in the bottom of the 4th. British Columbia leading 11-7 over Nova Scotia White. And in the bottom of the 4th inning, Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan tied at 0. And from the album Jazz, Fat Bottom Girls, track 3 off of Jazz, released 1977. Yes, I am that much of a Queen fan. So thank you for playing that. B-side for Bicycle Race when it was released as a single. Although more of a co-A side, I'd call it.
Bye, T.
And we're ready for the bottom of the 5th after I've shown off my music geekdom. I should point out that the music that is being played is in no way directly affiliated with Pedro Picto Sports or anybody to do with the broadcast side of things. That is just happens to be the music that is being played here in stadium. So I take no responsibility for any copyright or
Leading
anything
off,
like that
number
to do with any of
2,
the music
Shona Galloway.
that is being played. So here comes Shona Galloway. She singled in the 3rd, grounded out to 1st in the 2nd, or grounded out to 2nd in the 1st rather, and takes just outside ball 1. So Galloway so far 1 for 2 on the afternoon with that single and the ground out. Galloway, the center fielder for Nova Scotia this afternoon, and that one hits her. So Galloway will take first base and reach plate for the 2nd time. That'll bring up Leah Copeland.
Number 1, Leah Copeland.
Copeland popped out to 3rd and walked. So 0 for 1 with a walk so far this afternoon for Copeland. And running on the first pitch is Galloway, and not going to draw a throw, as Galloway got a great jump on that pitch. It was a strike, so Copeland down in the count 0-1. Takes high, ball 2, ball 1 rather, 1-1. And Copeland, one of the few players in this tournament who didn't fill out one of the bio information sheets, so I can't tell you too much about her, other than to say she is the shortstop and has played well at shortstop so far this afternoon for Nova Scotia Blue. Takes that ball 2-1 now, the count. here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gets contact with that one, over to short. Long throw across, not in time. And then the ball gets away from the first baseman. That'll allow both runners to advance another, as Turner couldn't receive that
Number
throw
7,
cleanly.
Haley Strong.
I think I believe that that's being called a hit and then an advance on the error.
So the only reason I say base hit is because the ball was on an air.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have to throw it if they did, and she missed it out of the top of the air.
Yeah, I agree.
So Haley Strong grounded out to third and grounded out to first her first 2 times up. And the count 0-2.
I think that's why Frank's here too.
Grounder down to third. Across the infield in time to get the out, but they trade the out for a run, and Nova Scotia goes ahead 2-1. So an RBI on the ground out for Strong. And the run scores. Advancing to third is Copeland, and Nova Scotia goes ahead 2-1.
Number
That'll bring up
14, Riley Johnston.
She was hit by a pitch and then was doubled off back in the second, struck out in the fourth, and comes up now with a runner on third and 1 out here in the 5th, looking to expand on Team Nova Scotia Blues' lead. That one's fouled back and out of play. Back and way out of play. 0-1 the count now on Johnston. This one comes in outside, but again, well outside, gets beyond the catcher, but again with that short backstop, it bounces, and the runner from third not able to advance at all. Johnston takes, and the count goes to 2-1. Johnston made the under 16 and under team last year as well as a 13-year-old. Now back with the team as a 14-year-old. Takes outside ball 3-1. And is in French immersion at school. 3-1 the count. Takes just on the outside corner, 3-2, as the count has been worked full. So now the full count here on Johnston. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Bishop Frazel since she took
Number
over.
11, Fenway Ryder.
That'll bring up Fenway Ryder. She lined into a double play in the second, flew out to right field in the 5th, and that fly ball to right, if the wind were blowing out instead of in, who knows what might have happened with that one. This one's fouled off into the parking lot, and the count goes 0-1. And I am once again thankful that I parked up in the lot way up beyond the right field fence. There's a grounder out to right field, and that will score a run. Coming in to score is Copeland. RBI single for Ryder. And that'll make the score now 3-1.
Number 12, Victoria Gates.
That brings up Gates, Victoria Gates. She singled in the second, reached on an error in the fourth, and came around to score what was the run that at the time made it 1-1. Now we got a bit of an issue as a ball from the other field, or a ball from where players are warming up, came into the field. And so that got taken care of, and we're back ready to go here. Runner on first, 2 away. There's a strike to Gates. So the 0-1 count now on the left fielder for Nova Scotia. Takes high and inside. And the count goes 1-1. One ball, one strike. Runner on first, 2 away. Here in the 5th. Grounder down the third baseline. That'll go foul. And the count goes to 1-2. As again, a big thank you to everybody who's tuning in here on Petter Pictou Sports, facebook.com/PetterPC Sports. And great to see fans of both teams cheering their girls on so faithfully. Count goes 2-2 here on the pitch coming in high on Gates. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one comes in a bit outside, and the count goes full, 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. That means Ryder will be going with the pitch. Here's the payoff pitch, bottom of the 5th inning. That comes in high, and that'll be a walk to Gates. So now the inning continues for Avery Smith.
Number 9, Avery Smith.
Smith struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, and was stranded at third base. Comes up now with 2 on, 2 out, and a chance to help her own cause on the mound. And that will do it for Hope Bishop Frazzle. And coming in to replace her on the mound will be number 4, Katie Penny. Penny from Grand Falls, Windsor, 16 years old. A pitcher and also plays infield from time to time. So now pitching is Katie Penny.
They sometimes have, you only have 3 slots for replacements. We've had 5 and 6. I put arrows and I'm going, no, forget it. After a couple, I just say, whoever steps up to bat, all else, then forget it.
Penny making her first.
Next door, ladies. We're up in the last 12-11.
Really? That's a big comeback.
Wow. Just got an update from the next field. British Columbia had been leading, but Nova Scotia now with the lead, 12-11 in the top of the 5th. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan's taken a 2-0 lead on Quebec, 2. That one also in the top of the 5th inning, while we're here in the bottom of the 5th, with Nova Scotia leading it 3-1. 2 on, 2 out. And the new pitcher, as mentioned, is Katie Penny for Team Newfoundland Labrador. The first batter that she will face will be Avery Smith. Smith, the pitcher for Nova Scotia Blue. She struck out and walked in her 2 previous plate appearances. And here we have the first pitch coming to Avery Smith. And she takes for a strike. Good pitch there from Penny to start her appearance on the mound at this tournament. And that one's fouled off. Count goes 0-2.
Remember, that's what I wrote down here, even though we're doing Nova Scotia. Newfoundland Labrador totals I've got here. Because they said, what's the pitch count? First game, I looked down at this. I thought it was
so the 0-2 count now here on Smith.
Right here.
Takes high ball 1, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count here on Smith. Runners on first and second, Ryder on first. Gates on second. That one gets away from Penny and goes well past the catcher companion. So the count goes to 2-2 and both runners advance. So now it's second and third with 2 away. That one comes in high and the count run full. So Smith, after going down 0-2, able to work her way back into a full count. And here comes the payoff pitch. That one's fouled back and out of play. The line on Bishop Frazzle as that one's popped up, and not able to make the catch was Penny, and everybody's safe, and then the ball gets away from the first baseman. That will allow a second run to score, and Nova Scotia is now up 5-1.
When that ball went up, I was watching the spin on it, and that's going to be really hard.
Yeah. So that'll bring up Lenny Syllaboy, or Lenissa Syllaboy. She struck out and reached on an error, her 2 times up. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. So unfortunately for Penny, that's going to be an error on her, and then a second error on the first baseman. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. So neither of those runs are earned.
15, Lenissa Syllaboy.
So the final tally on Bishop Frazzle, now that there's a foul tip. Bishop Frazzle pitched 1 complete inning. She pitched a third of an inning in the 4th and then 2/3 of an inning in the 5th. 1 complete inning, 2 strikeouts, 4 runs given up, one of them earned. And there's a strikeout on Syllaboy to end the inning, but 4 big runs for Nova Scotia there in the bottom of the 5th on just 2 hits, 1 runner left on base, 3 errors by Newfoundland Labrador, helping to lead to those 4 runs. Again, 3 of them unearned, just 1 of those runs earned. And due up in the top of the 6th, it'll be the top of the order for Newfoundland Labrador.
4 runs on 2 hits, 3 errors, pitch count 11.
And due up in the top of the 6th, Saunders, Bennett, and Childs, the top 3 batters in the Newfoundland batting order. And out there for her 6th inning of work is the pitcher Smith. Smith has, I believe, 12 pitches left or 13 pitches left. So depending on how efficient she can be, she might be able to get through this 6th inning. As the winds pick up a little bit more here once again in Bedford. And for those unfamiliar with Nova Scotia geography, Bedford, part of Halifax Regional Municipality, just a little bit outside of Halifax itself, but is part of the same
and Labrador. Top of the order, number 9, Brianna Saunders.
Part of the same municipal unit. Brianna Saunders, she walked and scored the only Newfoundland Labrador run so far. She also grounded out to short and takes a strike on the outside corner with her first pitch. And I have confirmed Saunders is indeed the smallest of the players for Team Newfoundland Labrador. Takes high and inside. Ball 1-1 the count. At least according to the information sheet I was given, she's listed as the smallest of the players. Swing and a miss there. And the count goes 1-2. 1-2 now the count here on Saunders. That one comes in high and inside. The count goes 2-2. Oh. Two balls, two strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the sixth. That one's grounded down the first line but goes foul. So count will remain 2-2. Saunders not the youngest player on the team. That would go to, that honor would go to Holly Russell. And there's the pop out to first for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Megan Bennett.
Coming to the plate, number 15, Megan Bennett.
Bennett walked and struck out her 2 times up previously. And that will do it for the starting pitcher, Avery Smith. And what a show of sportsmanship there. Well deserved as she gets...
One more time.
16 is going in for 9.
Got it.
So coming in to pitch now, Tamika Stevens will take over for Avery Smith. Just a straight swap in the batting order. And we'll give you the stat line for Smith just a moment, but first we'll tell you about the new pitcher, Tamika Stevens. She's from Lordways, up in Antigonish County, 16 years old, pitches, also plays a bit of infield for Team Nova Scotia. Hard throwing right-hander. And we'll tell you that for Smith, she pitched 5 1/3 innings, striking out 7. Striking out 7 of the batters that she faced. Gave up just the 1 run on 1 hit and walked 6 throughout the course of the game. So a very, very good pitching performance there for Avery Smith. And again, coming in relief of her, Tamika Stevens, to take things over. Why is this happening to me?
You know what? I've heard a lot with it. It's a bit.
And the first batter that Stevens is going to face again is Megan Bennett, who has walked and struck out. And the first pitch to Bennett, she fouls that one off on the third base side.
People need care.
And there's a strike, and the count quickly 0-2 on Bennett here. So a very good start here for Stevens. That one's popped out to left center. It will drop in for a hit. So a single for Bennett will bring up Brooklyn Childs.
Number 10, Brooklyn Childs.
Childs, 0 for 2. She's struck out twice so far this afternoon. And here's the first pitch to Childs. Runner going. Throw down to second. Not in time. And Bennett will get the stolen base. And I believe that was a ball, was the call on the pitch to Childs. That one's grounded back up the middle. It will get through for a base hit, and coming around is Bennett, and the throw gets away, which allows Childs to get to second. So an RBI single for Childs, advancing to second on the throw home. And that makes the score 5-2. And that'll bring up Andrea Turner. She reached on a fielder's choice and walked. So 0 for 1 technically, but 2 for 2 as far as the on-base percentage. Pops that one into shallow right. It gets just over the head of Ryder. And that will allow Childs to get to third. She had to wait up to see if that ball would actually drop in or not, and when it did, was able to get over to third. Turner reaches
Number 23, Chantal Patey Callahan.
on the single. That'll bring up Patey Callahan. She's walked both times. But before we get there, we'll have a meeting at the mound to talk things over, as Newfoundland Labrador now with 1 out in the 6th inning has the potential tying run up at the plate.
It was defensive anyway, so you're not allowed to take him in the next one.
So is Maddie Healy up next then?
Yes.
Maddie Healy and hitting defensively too. I don't know.
Yeah, Maddie Healy came back in defensively. And there's a line shot, gets through the shortstop. That'll score another run. And the ball gets all the way to the fence, trying to stretch it into a double, and she will. Patey Callahan with the double into left center. Turner gets all the way to third. Childs comes in to score, and it is now 5-3.
Number 16, Maddie Healy.
That'll bring Healy back up to the plate. She grounded out to third, walked, was replaced by a pinch runner, and then came back in, re-entered the game defensively that next half inning. Swings and misses at the first pitch, and the count 0-1. So the potential tying run now at second base for Team Newfoundland Labrador here. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 out, top of the 6th inning. Nova Scotia with that 2-run lead, but Newfoundland Labrador has already scored twice here in this inning, clawing their way back into this ball game. Here's the pitch from Stevens. Just misses inside. The count goes 1-2. At the end of this half inning, we'll give you another update on the rest of the scoreboard here on day number 1. Meanwhile, there's a swing and a miss. The ball gets away from the catcher, but throw down for first, throw back home again, and she's safe. So a strikeout for the second out of the inning. Turner comes in to score
Number
on the
12,
throw down to
Mackenzie
first.
Byrne.
And advancing to third is Patey Callahan. That'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. And the score now 5-4 in favor of Nova Scotia Blue. Mackenzie Byrne now up. She doubled back in the second. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. She also grounded out to second back in the 4th. Comes up with the potential tying run just 90 feet away, although I think the dimensions are actually a little bit less than 90 feet, but the proverbial 90 feet away. Swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes now, the count on Byrne. And that one's grounded down to second. Ryder will get it. Throw to first in time. So Nova Scotia Blue gets out of it with the lead, but only a 1-run lead now. After 3 runs come in on 4 hits, 1 error and 1 runner left on base. So the score through 5.5 is Nova Scotia 5, Newfoundland Labrador 4.
The results: 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, pitch count 14.
And due up in the bottom of the 6th inning for Nova Scotia, looking to try and put on some insurance runs, Vanessa Dort, Shona Galloway, and Leah Copeland. As promised, the out-of-town scoreboard, Nova Scotia in the bottom of the 5th, now leading it 13-11 over British Columbia. In the bottom of the 5th inning over at Weirfield, Saskatchewan leads Quebec 5-0. Those are both, of course, Pool B games. Earlier today, the other Pool C game to start things off, New Brunswick beat Prince Edward Island 8-1. Of course, this is a Pool C game between Newfoundland Labrador and Nova Scotia Blue. And that other Nova Scotia team over there in the bottom of the 5th, that's Nova Scotia White. And as mentioned, the Saskatchewan-Quebec game, that's Quebec Team 2. The 2A pool games from earlier this morning, Quebec 1 beat Ontario 5-1, and Alberta beat Manitoba 22-3. As mentioned, Quebec and Nova Scotia, the 2 teams that have 2 teams, or sorry, the 2 provinces that have 2 teams here at the tournament. Leading things off, it is going to be Vanessa Dort.
Leading off, number 5, Vanessa Dort.
Dort 0 for 2 so far on the day, striking out twice.
Bottom of 6. We're getting there.
Who you look for? Baseball Canada. You look for 10?
That one comes in outside, and the count goes to 1-0
I don't know if he
on Dort.
would be up here or not. Get in touch with,
1 ball, no strike.
the player sheets for this game to check it in.
And there's a swing and a miss, and the count goes 1-1.
Well, no, there's 2 of them there.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. That one just misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1. As continuing on the mound, there is Penny. Count now 3-1. And Dort grounds that one to second, having to hustle. And just in time, getting the throw there from leg to Turner for the first out of the inning. Good hustle by Dort there to nearly beat out the throw.
Number
That'll bring up
2, Shona Galloway.
That'll bring up Shona Galloway. She grounded out to second, singled, and was hit by a pitch and came around to score. So 1 for 2, but reaching base 2 of 3 times. So the on-base percentage, .667 so far. Lines that one out to left field. It'll drop in for a single. As Galloway takes the first pitch and pulls it out for her second hit of the game. That'll bring up Leah Copeland. Copeland popped out to third, walked, and then singled and came around to score. So 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored so far this afternoon. Throw over to
Now
first.
batting number 1, Leah Copeland.
And Galloway able to get back. 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Throw down to second, not in time. And in with the stolen base is Galloway. And I believe that first pitch was called a strike. Squaring around, showing bunt, pulling the ball back was Copeland, and the count goes 1-1. Don't forget our next game here. Tentative start time should be around 4:30, but right now it's already 3:45, so that may get pushed back. Dropping down the bunt is Copeland, hustling down to first and getting there ahead of the throw. The throw also goes wild. That allows a run to come in to score. So Galloway able to come around to score, making it 6-4.
Number 7, Haley Strong.
That'll bring up Strong. She grounded out to third, grounded out to first, and then grounded out to third again, driving in a run in the process. So 0 for 3 with an RBI. And this time laces it out to right. It'll get through the right fielder, Katie Callahan. Coming around to score will be Copeland. And getting into second safely is Strong. And that makes it now
Number
7-4.
14, Riley Johnston.
That'll bring up Riley Johnston. She was hit by a pitch and struck out twice. And Johnston, as mentioned, 0 for 2, also hit by a pitch once. Takes inside, and the count 1-0 on Johnston, with the score now 7-4 in favor of Nova Scotia. Getting some all-important insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Takes high, and the count goes 2-0. Don't forget, our next game here from this field will be Alberta and Ontario. Ontario coming in with a record of 0-1 after dropping a game to Quebec. Takes high, ball 3-0. Alberta coming in with a record of 1-0 after a victory over Manitoba. Three balls, no strikes here on Johnston. Takes high, ball 4. That'll bring up Fenway Ryder.
Number 11, Fenway Ryder.
Ryder lined into a double play in the second, flew out to right in the 4th, and singled and drove in a run in the 5th, then came around to score herself. So 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored for Ryder so far this afternoon. Fouls that one straight back, and the count goes 0-1, and it doesn't matter how many times I see the fence in front of me. You see the foul coming straight back, you can't help but duck. Whew. Another one like that comes back, and the tournament's paying for my heart medication. That one just misses inside, count goes 1-1. I kid, of course. 1-1 the count here on Ryder. Runners on first and second with one away here in the bottom of the 6th. Just catches the outside corner, and the count now goes 1-2. Katie Penny delivers the pitch. That one's popped out to center, and the center fielder, Saunders, can't make the catch, but they get the force out at second. As the runners had to hold to see if that ball was going to get caught. So a fielder's choice gets Johnston out at second. That'll bring up Gates with now 2 out and runners on the corners. Gates singled, reached on an error and scored, and walked and scored. So 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored so far this afternoon for Gates. And she's got runners on the corners. Runner from first is going. That's Ryder. And she gets to second uncontested. Swing and a miss. And the count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on second and third, 2 away here in the 6th. That one comes in just a little bit outside, and the count goes 2-1. Also a touch low. See if we can give you an update on what's going on. They're into the top of the 6th now over at Robert Lenahan, just down to our right. And Nova Scotia leading it now 16-11. There's a swing and a miss, and the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. As Gates looking to add more insurance to Nova Scotia's lead. That one gets a piece of Gates, and so she'll reach on the hit by pitch. She's now been on base all 4 times she's been up, which brings up Tamika Stevens.
Number 16, Tamika Stevens.
Stevens, her first plate appearance, because she took over in the she took over in the top of the 6th on the mound. So her first plate appearance of the day here for Stevens. And she takes a strike with the bases now loaded. And because Stevens came in, no, actually it wouldn't be a save situation for Stevens, because when she came in it was a 4-run lead. Now we're going to have a meeting at the mound here. Two. And we're going to have a pitching change as Penny is going to go to... Okay, we got a few people changing gloves here, so let's see if we can keep you up on... Okay. Patty Callahan, Andrea Turner, who had been playing first, is now going over to pitch, it appears. So yes, the new pitcher will be Andrea Turner, who had been playing first base. She'll take over on the mound. It looks like out in the outfield, nothing is changing. So Penny will move from the pitcher's mound to, I believe, third, and third baseman Healy moves to first, I believe is what we're getting here. We'll wait and see where everybody goes to. Yes, Healy is going to go from third to first. Penny will go from first to third, or from the mound to third. And Turner goes from first to the mound. So just a 3-way swap amongst those 3 positions: first base, pitcher's mound, and third base.
Hello. What changes you got? Okay, who went to first?
16 went to first.
Okay.
And 4 went to... No. It's a 3-way swap. 4 went to third. 16 goes from third to first. And 33 goes from first to the mound. And coming up to bat after all those changes, or continuing the at-bat in all those changes, is Tamika Stevens. And I believe the count now goes to 1-2 on her, as we get confirmation of that count. Nova Scotia leading at 7-4, bottom of the 6th inning, looking to add a little bit more insurance. Grounder down to second. Over to first in time for the 3rd out of the inning. That will do it for the 6th, but Nova Scotia puts up an all-important 2 more runs on 2 hits. And the bases left loaded. There were also 2 errors in the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 3 left on base. And after 6 complete, Nova Scotia now leads it. Nova Scotia Blue now leads it 7-4.
Nova Scotia results: 2 runs on 1 hit, 3 errors, and pitch count is 2.
Oh, sorry, 1 hit and 3 errors. All right. I had 2 hits and 2 errors, so one of those, that one must have been an error. Okay. Due up in the top of the 7th, the last chance for Newfoundland. They need 3 runs in this half inning, and it's going to be up to the 8, 9, 10 hitters in their order. Hannah Legg, Katie Penny, and then Haley Companion. And now pitching for Nova Scotia, taking over on the mound, is Riley Johnston. She moves from behind the plate to on the pitcher's mound. Sillaboy moves from third to catcher. Yeah, I got him, guys. Okay. Riley Johnston goes from catcher to pitcher. So 14 goes from 2 to 1. Stevens goes from 1 to 5. 16 goes from 1 to 5, and 15 goes from 5 to 2. Yep.
And leading off for Team Newfoundland and Labrador, number 14, Hannah Legg.
Hannah Legg will lead off top of the 7th here. She struck out and grounded out to second. And takes a strike. Count goes 0-1. This is, as mentioned, a new pitcher for Nova Scotia. No new players coming into the game, just moving people around. Johnston, as mentioned, goes from behind the plate to out on the mound. Sillaboy goes from third base to behind the plate, and Stevens goes from on the mound to third base. So the 3 of them just trading spots around. Count now 1-1. Swing and a miss now, and the count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Legg. Top of the 7th inning, Nova Scotia leading it by 3. Looking to move into a tie for first place with New Brunswick in Pool C action. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 batter, 1 strikeout. For Johnston, we can close the book pitching-wise on Stevens.
Number 4, Katie Penny.
She pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, struck out 1. Now Katie Penny up for her first time at bat today. The right-hander takes outside. And as mentioned, Johnston now the new pitcher, the 3rd pitcher of the game for Nova Scotia, and this is a save situation for her because she comes in with the lead being 3 right now. There's a swing and a miss, strike 1, 1-1 the count. As it stands right now, Smith would stand to get the victory. Takes just a bit high, ball 2, 2-1. This is, as mentioned, a save situation for Johnston. while the pitcher who would stand to take the loss, although it's a bit unfortunate that it would have to be considered this way, is Bishop Frizzell, as none of the runs against, or just one of the runs against Frizzell was earned. That one comes in a bit low, and it's ball 4 on Penny, so Penny will walk, which will bring up Haley Companion. She's 0 for 2, striking out twice.
Number 6, Haley Companion.
And, batting for 6 is 5, Holly Russell. So a pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter, correction, number 5, Holly Russell.
So Russell, a pinch hitter. Well, Holly Russell, a 13-year-old from Grand Falls, Windsor, as I speak English so well. Pitches and plays first base according to the sheet I've got here, but right now she's in as a pinch hitter and takes inside. And the ball getting away from the catcher, and then the throw down to second, not quite in time. So Penny able to get over to second base.
Hey, Ronnie, let's settle down there, girl. Let's go get the ball.
And I believe the count 2-0. Takes low. And looking for confirmation here on the count. I believe it's 3-0. It is indeed. Takes inside, ball 4. And after the opening strikeout, back-to-back walks means the potential tying run is now coming up to the plate as time is called. Coaching staff, one of the coaches for Nova Scotia. That's Carly Jackson out there to talk to her pitcher. All 3 coaches for Team Nova Scotia Blue listed as head coaches. As the umpire, Alex Marriott, goes out to break up the conversation. And we'll get to Brianna Saunders.
Number 9, Brianna Saunders.
Saunders walked and came around to score in the first, grounded out to short in the third, and popped out to first in the sixth. Takes ball 1 in the dirt, and the count 1-0. Saunders, the potential tying run here with 1 away in the top of the 7th inning. And the 1-0 pitch comes in high, ball 2, 2-0. Johnston with that powerful leg kick helping her get some good velocity on these balls. Delivers high again, ball 3, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes here on Saunders. Johnston sets and delivers. And that one comes in high and outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded, and the potential lead run in the form of Megan Bennett about to come to the plate.
Number 15, Megan Bennett.
Bennett walked, struck out, and singled, and came around to score in the 6th. 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored so far this afternoon when you put all that line together. Takes strike 1, just catching the outside corner. With the bases loaded. Takes high, ball 1, 1-1 now the count. Johnston delivering those pitches just a little bit high consistently. Comes in high again, 2-1. And when you see a pitcher coming in consistently high like that, it usually
Throwing at that pitch in the
is a situation with the release point just not quite being dead on where you want it to be. That one comes in low, and the count now 3-1 on Bennett. And with a 3-1 count, with the struggles that Johnston has had, you got to wonder if the take sign's on here. She takes regardless, as it's ball 4. RBI for Bennett without having to lift the bat off of her shoulders. Base is still loaded. And the score now goes to 7-5, and that will do it for Johnston. She'll come out after facing just 5 batters, 4 of them reaching base, and it looks like it'll be a straight swap. Second base for pitcher Fenway Ryder coming in to pitch, and Johnston now going from the pitcher's mound to second base. So 1/3 of an inning for Riley Johnston. 1 strikeout, 4 walks.
Is that a straight swap?
1 run in, and Johnston still responsible for the 3 runners who are on base. And the score 7-5 now in favor of Nova Scotia Blue. We'll let you know that they're into the top of the 7th inning in both of the other games that are ongoing right now as well. Nova Scotia leading at 19-11. And Saskatchewan leads Quebec 2 5-3. Both of those games in the top of the 7th inning. The next set of games, that'll be the last game from Weirfield there, that game between Quebec and Saskatchewan, or Quebec 2 and Saskatchewan. The next set of games are both going to be Pool A games, Manitoba taking on Quebec and Alberta taking on Ontario. Fenway Riley, the new pitcher, as mentioned. Both of those Pool A games, Manitoba 0-1 against Quebec 1-0. And Alberta 0-1 or 1-0 against Ontario 0-1.
Okay, now you turn it on.
And bases loaded. And here comes Brooklyn Childs. She's struck out
Number
twice.
10, Brooklyn Childs.
Struck out twice, and then an RBI single and came around to score in the 6th. So 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. And takes a strike. And the count goes to 0-1. The first pitch from Fenway Ryder in for a strike. Swing and a miss, strike 2. The count 0-2 now on the left-handed hitting shortstop for Newfoundland Labrador. And to call this a big pitch would be a grand understatement. Here comes the 0-2. It comes in way high, but bounces right off the fence back to Syllaboy. So the count goes 1-2. This is a big at-bat for both teams. Ryder needing to get an out here. That one's fouled straight back, and the count remains 1-2. While Newfoundland and Labrador, they are down by 2. The potential tying run at second base with 1 out. They need to at least try and get 1 across here, if at all humanly possible. That one comes in, and that'll hit Childs. So she gets the RBI for taking a plunk. And the score now 7-6 here in the top of the 7th inning.
Number 33, Andrea Turner.
That'll bring up Turner with the potential tying run now at third base. Turner grounded into a fielder's choice, walked and singled, and fouls the first pitch back. 0-1. Bases still loaded, tying run at third, potential lead run at second. And here comes the 0-1. Misses outside, 1-1. The tentative start time for our next games were originally scheduled for 4:30. Obviously, we're not going to meet that deadline here with it already being 10 after 4. It is a final now over at the other field. Nova Scotia White beating British Columbia. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. 19-11 the final score in that one. So Nova Scotia White goes to 1-0. British Columbia goes to 0-1. Saskatchewan now a final over Quebec as well. That score 5-3. That one's popped up as Ryder makes the catch. Batter was out on the infield fly anyway. But Fenway Ryder makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Number 23, Chantal P.T. Callahan.
We're now 1 out away from Nova Scotia securing the victory, and Ryder securing the save. P.T. Callahan, she's walked twice and doubled and takes strike 1. P.T. Callahan 1 for 1, reached base all 3 times. Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia White tied for first in the B pool. P.T. Callahan swings and misses at that one, and the count now 0-2. And Fenway Ryder now 1 strike away from finishing off this game. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, bases loaded. Tying run at third, top of the 7th. That one's popped into the air. And it just goes beyond our broadcast booth here behind home plate. So the count remains 0-2. As this is now the only game in action here at the tournament. That one comes in a bit outside and possibly a little high as well. The count now goes to 1-2. Alberta and Ontario our next game at this field. Manitoba and Quebec the next game over at Robert Lenahan. And I'm guessing the tentative start time for that one's going to be pushed back to 5 o'clock and will be pushed back to maybe quarter after or maybe even 5:30, but I'm just guessing on that, so please don't quote me on that by any means. That one comes in a bit high, and the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, tying run at third. Fenway Ryder on the mound, pitching to Chantal P.T. Callahan. And there's ball 3, 3-2. Take whatever cliches you want about this being a big pitch and quadruple them. Runners will be going with the bases loaded and the full count. Here's the payoff pitch, comes in high, ball 4, and that will tie the ball game as P.T. Callahan drives in a run with that walk, and the score becomes 7-7. Here in the top of the 7th.
Maddie Healy.
That'll bring up Maddie Healy. She grounded out to third, walked and struck out. So 0 for 2. Drives that one into left field. It gets past the left fielder. That'll score at least 2. Holding up at third is P.T. Callahan. A 2-run double for Healy. And Newfoundland Labrador now have a 9-7 lead.
Number 12, Mackenzie Byrne.
As Newfoundland now with the 9-7 lead. Byrne, grounder to second, to first in time. But Newfoundland Labrador with 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning. On 1 hit, 5 runs on 1 hit, 2 runners left on base, no errors. And the score after 6.5 now, Newfoundland 9,
Pitch count, guys.
Nova Scotia Blue 7. Due up in the bottom of the 7th will be Lenny Syllaboy, or
Results for
Lanissa
Newfoundland Labrador,
Syllaboy,
5
Vanessa
runs on
Dort,
1 hit.
and Shona
No errors.
Galloway.
Pitch count 18.
So we're going to the bottom of the 7th.
Score heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Newfoundland Labrador 9, Team Nova Scotia 7.
With Nova Scotia Labrador now needing to score twice. And standing to possibly be the winning pitcher is Andrea Turner, after she came in to get the last 2/3, or the last 1/3 of an inning in the bottom of the 6th, and she's back out there to pitch the bottom of the 7th. This is her game to win, and the run that gives the lead to Newfoundland Labrador, and therefore the potential losing pitcher, is Riley Johnston.
Vanessa coming up, number 15.
And so again, 9-7, as you can see on your screens. Newfoundland Labrador leading it,
Hitting off
going
for
into
Team
the
Nova
bottom of the
Scotia,
7th.
number 15, Lanissa Syllaboy.
Lanissa Syllaboy reached on an error once, also struck out twice, so 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Comes up to lead off the bottom of the 7th here. And takes a ball, 1-0 the count. Heading into the bottom of the 7th, if you're just joining us, you have missed a whale of a ball game. It is 9-7 in favor of Newfoundland Labrador over Nova Scotia Blue, or Nova Scotia 2 as they're being called. Lenny Syllaboy up at the plate, 1-1 count, leading off here in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Newfoundland Labrador with 5 runs in the top of the 7th to go from trailing 7-4 to leading 9-7. Nova Scotia now needing a comeback of their own to try and either keep this game going or win it in their last at bat here. Striking out is Syllaboy. That'll bring up Vanessa Dort. She struck out
Number
twice and
5,
grounded out to
Vanessa
third,
Dort.
or grounded out to second rather. So 0 for 3 on the afternoon. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss, strike 1. And just a reminder to those who are watching, the inning and the score line are always up on the screen there. The number that's beside Newfoundland Labrador score indicates what inning we are in. There's a drive just foul. So as you can see, we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. So if you're ever unsure of where we are at in the game, it is available right there for you to stay up to date with. I know sometimes it's not always easy to trust the information that is on the screen because the guy who's supposed to be doing it is falling asleep at the wheel, and that does happen, but I will give my solemn vow that I'll stay up to date. Count now 1-2 after Dort takes an inside pitch there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dort. Here with 1 away, bottom of the 7th. The pitch from Turner. Foul back, and Dort stays alive. It's still 1-2. Galloway on deck. Copeland also hoping that she'll get a chance to have at least one more swing. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that brings Nova Scotia down to their final chance. 2 away, bottom of the 7th, Shona Galloway. She grounded out to second, singled, hit by a pitch, came around to score, reached on an error and came around to score. So technically 1 for 3, but reached base 3 of 4 times and 2 runs scored so far here this afternoon. Turner 1 out away from finishing the victory. That one's grounded down to second, and that may do it. There's the out. And a come-from-behind victory for Team Newfoundland. No runs, no hits, no errors in the bottom of the 7th, and your final score
Final score, Team Newfoundland and Labrador 9, Team Nova Scotia 7. Would the players please line up for the traditional handshakes, please, and then line up on your respective baselines. Would the coaches please also come to the announce booth and let us know your selections for player of the game for each of your teams.
So that does it here for this game. We'll stay around for the presentation of the players of the game. A very entertaining ball game. Then we're going to take a quick break. We will stop the stream for stop the stream for a few moments to help get it ready for the next game, and then we will get you ready for the game between Alberta and Ontario, which we'll find out
Team Newfoundland coach, I need you over here for a sec.
We'll find out the exact start time here relatively shortly.
And now for the presentation of players of the game for each of our great teams. For Team Newfoundland and Labrador, Chantel Patey Callahan.
Chantel Patey Callahan, who played right field for Newfoundland Labrador, doubled
and for Team
walked 3 times.
Nova Scotia, Avery Smith.
And Avery Smith, the starting pitcher for Nova Scotia, pitched absolutely dynamite for 5 1/3 innings.
Please go over to the skate park right next to our canteen for pictures, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Team Newfoundland and Labrador, Team Nova Scotia.
And the final score, once again, Newfoundland and Labrador wins it over Nova Scotia Blue 9-7. Newfoundland and Labrador moves into a tie for first in Pool C with New Brunswick. Nova Scotia Blue moves into a tie for third with Prince Edward Island at 0-1. So until a little while from now, not too long, when we bring you Ontario and Alberta from this field, this is Michael Petter signing off, saying may your pitches hit the corners, may your liners hit the gaps. The final score one last time: Newfoundland Labrador 7, Nova Scotia Blue, or Newfoundland Labrador 9, Nova Scotia Blue 7.